Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going, and as I like to remind you each and every day, it expands our base. This morning, I want to talk about something that happened in the House of Representatives. It is so important, so critical to our national security, and may be an indicator of what we can expect once Donald Trump takes the oath of office on Monday. The chair of the Intelligence Committee of the House of Representatives is a man named Mike Turner. He is extremely effective. He is a Republican. He is a conservative. He has disagreed with Donald Trump on occasion, and has had no hesitation in expressing those differences. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, has removed him as chair of the Intelligence Committee. The rumor is that it's because of Mar-a-Lago, that is the instruction of Donald Trump. Speaker Johnson said, no, absolutely not. This is something that I am doing because we need new faces, freshness in the House. Well, Speaker Johnson, maybe if we need new faces, maybe you should step out. No, the simple truth is that Mike Turner was a supporter of NATO. He was a supporter of aid to Ukraine. He is someone who has consistently talked about the need for a strong national security. He's highly respected. But he opposes Donald Trump on key things, including, it appears, Ukraine, NATO, and he said repeatedly that he thought that Donald Trump did not handle his papers in Mar-a-Lago properly. I mean, he's been critical of Donald Trump, although he voted to confirm Donald Trump's election. I want everyone to understand what this means. It means that the president-elect of the United States is unduly influencing a separate branch of government. That is to say, there is a dictate taking place now to the leadership of the Republicans in the House to do it the way Donald Trump wants it. In his book, Kings of the Hill, Richard Cheney, joined by his wife, Lynn, and by former President Gerald Ford, talk about the need for an independent House of Representatives, the People's House. And to tell you bluntly, I cannot understand, I cannot conceive how Republicans in the House would surrender on this major question. Mike Turner was a very fine intelligence chair. Republicans are privately expressing their concern about this move. And yet it has happened. This should concern all of us because it means that three separate branches of government are now compromised. That's right. Clearly, the legislative branch is compromised. Clearly, the judiciary is compromised. And now it would seem that the leverage of the executive branch makes this inevitable. Donald Trump issued a blacklist. People who had served in his previous administrations who he would never use in his governments again. Well, first of all, it's not his government, it's our government. Second of all, the president does have discretion over who he, or perhaps one day she, chooses to have in positions of power. But the idea that a blacklist is issued, and that's what it is to me unconscionable. On Monday next, Donald Trump will take the sacred oath of office and once again assume the duties of President of the United States of America. He has promised to do certain things on day one: mass deportations, end birthright citizenship, pardon January 6th defendants, end the war in Ukraine, impose tariffs, and, of course, drill, drill, drill. There is a lot at stake next Monday at 12 noon, when Donald Trump assumes the presidency of the United States. I have listened to members of the United States Senate I listened particularly to Republicans who were not willing to be critical of any of Donald Trump's nominees up to this point, and Democrats who are trying desperately to make the points but cannot because they don't have the votes. There is something that I believe I need to say to you today. I wish Donald Trump no ill at all. He has been elected president of the United States. But part of the way our system works is to have a loyal opposition and even to have dissent within your own political party. What we are witnessing these days is a castrated Republican Party, unable to stand up to Donald Trump. I am not a great fan of Mike Turner's. He's a Republican with whom I have had some substantial disagreements. But to displace a chairman of the House Intelligence Committee because Donald Trump wants him out bothers me tremendously. It jeopardizes the independence of the House. And as for Republicans in the Senate, they have proven themselves to be spineless wimps, unwilling to deal with the real issues which they confront in the process of advise and consent. Last night, I watched the movie Advise and Consent again. Alan Drury, who lived here in Northern California, actually in Tiburon, wrote the book that was turned into a tremendous movie. It explains vividly why we have the check and balance of advise and consent. This podcast will be the last one on the first full day of Joe Biden's administration. This is the end of his administration. He has the weekend and Monday, and he'll do some things, but you understand, and I understand, that on the first full day that Donald Trump is president of the United States, he said yesterday on Dan Bongino's radio program that he is going to move immediately to implement his promises. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it means. And we'll be talking about it. I want you all to be aware this weekend is one for reflection and thought. And Monday, Donald Trump will take the oath of office. We are waiting to hear what he says in his inaugural address. And yes, we are waiting to see whether the Republicans will stand up and declare their independence, not opposition, but independence, in the face of Donald Trump's willingness to take full advantage of power. It's something for all of us to reflect on. If he does what he says he is going to do, we are in for one heck of a roller coaster ride. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Around the Political World with John Rothman. Make sure to follow along, let me know your thoughts on the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing an episode with a friend or colleague so we can continue to grow and expand, which is, of course, our goal. You can interact with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and, of course, through email. And most important of all, on this Friday afternoon, we're waiting to see what happens next week. I want to say a big thank you to Gogo Zoger, the wonderful producer of this program. Frankly, I can't wait for the new administration. I am going to be as critical as I have been of Joe Biden, as I was of Barack Obama, as I was of George W. Bush, because criticism is what makes American democracy work. I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.